Hello, this is a short tutorial on how to use the Student Information System, sometimes called the Genius system, with Impact Academy courses. And when you go to this web address right here on the top, it's www.edgenuity.com/SIS-login. And you will come to this page, whoops, and then you will use your credentials to log in. So I'm going to log into my account because I already have some students here that we are going to pilot looking at. Sometimes takes a minute. It's a very robust system. Okay, so this is your dashboard, and some of these things on the front of the dashboard may be useful to you. You can see how many students are 20% or more behind, or 0 to 20% behind, and average grade, enrollments by activity. This will show a line graph of student activity and grades, whether they're on pace or not. So there's some useful other things on this from this dashboard, from these tabs here. So for example, I'm going to click on Students, the Students tab. Okay, and we can see that these are a list of students. It's certainly not all of my students yet. I haven't finished loading them into the system. But so far I have 31 students, and they will all be listed here. Okay. And you can access student information by clicking on a link to the student's name. And this is what a student's dashboard looks like. Okay, so while you're on a student's dashboard, you can access lots of important contact information. And you can also see the list of all of the courses they are taking with Impact Academy here as you scroll down. What I like to do is click on Edit Information, and this opens up another page where you can actually see more contact information. On the home dashboard, the main page for the student, it will show the student's email address and the student's phone number. Sometimes that phone number is just their house number, or it could be mom or dad's cell phone number. But how you can find that out is scroll down a little bit further. And here are the guardian contact information. So here's mom's email address, mom's phone number, and that happens to not be the student's number, so that does appear to be the student's phone number. It's useful to have the student's number in case you need to text and share information with the student, as well as email the student, and you can do that by one of the links here under Actions. The Actions box says Send Email. If you click on that, it opens another window, and you can type your message in the text box. Of course, you want to put a subject, and most importantly, you can also copy the guardian. I almost always copy the guardian on emails that I send to the student, so that the parent stays in the communication loop of what's going on with the student and the course and their teachers. You generally don't want to use any of these other buttons here. Very occasionally, you might want to take the student off. So you check this button here for Don't Copy Student. What that will do, if you have Copy Guardian checked as well, will only send the email to the guardian emails that are listed, and not the student. So if you just want to communicate to the parent, you can just check this box so that you don't copy the student in your message. Okay, and so that's the email system here for the student. Always just go back to the main page. You can see it here. You can see their grades and what percent they've completed, whether they're behind pace or not on your course. And this is a very quick way to just review. If you have one student in mind that you need to take a look at, just pick them off the student page here and click on their name, and it takes you to their main page in their dashboard. Of course, you're going to have more than one student probably in your course. So if you want to look at all of your students and their progress, you go to the Enrollments tab. And you can sort by a variety of ways. You want to pick Impact Academy High School, for instance, if your course is in the high school. School is just going to be Henry County. A department, if you have an elective course, you will choose electives and all the other major core academic departments. I'm going to choose social studies. Actually, I'm going to choose electives because I have more students enrolled in my psychology class right now. And here you can actually spell out your course. It can be just a key word or a partial part of a word, and it'll bring up a list of courses. So I'm going to type psych. And it'll take a minute. And here are all of my psychology students listed here. Okay? And over here, if they had gotten started and working, they would have their grades here, the percent that they are behind, and the percent that they've completed of the course. This is a very important sheet right here on this page because up at the top right, you have something called Export Results to Excel. And you can click on that and it'll give you an Excel spreadsheet with all of your students' grades, percents, whatever you customize. You can customize these columns to anything that you need. These are pretty much the standard that will appear in your login account. And so this is a way you can monitor your students' progress by pulling these spreadsheets maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks, however often you need to check. Okay, so use the Enrollment tab and sort for your course. If you have a hard time finding your course, you can always just put in your name, select your name, and it'll bring up all the courses that are associated with your teacher name. Okay, and again, I got my 26 enrollments here for psychology. You can also sort for a variety of other things. If, let's say you want to, and here's something else you can do from this page. Let's say you want to send an email to all of your students who are more than 5% behind. Okay, right now I don't have any that have even started working. But let's say I did, and I get data, and I have no enrollments matching that criteria. But if I did, I could come over here to the left side where it says emails. And I can click on that, and if I had enrollment selected, it would say you have 15, by pressing send, you will be sending this to 15 enrollments. And you just put a subject there, hey, get to work, copy the Guardian, and say, hello, I noticed that you've fallen a little bit behind in the course. Please work a little bit extra this week to get caught up. And this will send it to the student. I checked copy Guardian. It will go to the parent as well. And that will give the parent an opportunity to reply back to you. Okay. And this is also an excellent way. Let me go back to my enrollments here. I'm going to take off the pacing. You want to introduce yourself to your students. Let's bring them all up. So now I'm going to email this to 26 enrollments in this course, copying the Guardian. And I might say something like, welcome to psychology. Psychology. All right. And I even put in an extra C. And then I can go down here and type my message. A cool thing here is I can type hi, pull down select variable, put the students first, and last, whoops, not program name, last name, And so for each email, for each individual 26 emails that it sends, it will populate those fields with the student's first and last name. And then I can introduce myself and give them some important links and information about my course, my contact information, my cell number, my email address, my office hours where I can be dedicated online, and the best times to reach me at. And then that will just be an introduction, an introduction to my students and my parents using this email. So how did I get there again? I got there from the Enrollments tab, sorted for my class, Get Data, brought down the list of students, make sure they're all there, and then clicked Emails. Okay. Another important thing that you want to do with this, when you bring up your course and you bring up all your students, you can click on the top of these, the top rows or the top of the columns here and sort. So I'm going to sort alphabetically. And what I want to do now, as school gets started, I want to pull up my Infinite Campus roster and make sure that my Infinite Campus roster shows all of the students that are populated in your course. Okay, and vice versa. You might end up with a student that's in your course but it's not on your Infinite Campus roster. If you have any problems with that whatsoever, you have an extra student that's not in Infinite Campus, or you have students that are on your Infinite Campus roster but not in your course, you will want to email one of the Impact Academy counselors, either Mrs. Joan Prisk or Christy Young, and they will be glad to fix whatever needs to be fixed for you, in either adding or removing students from your account. Okay, so this is very important here to use this list to justify it off of your Infinite Campus roster and make sure everything matches, because at the end of each term you'll be reporting their actual grades to Infinite Campus. All right. How do you check your own emails that students send to you? Well, that's going to be under this Message tab here. And here you will get messages from students. You can compose new messages. You can reply to students and parents in this system. Sometimes, though, it might be more convenient for you to just give them your straight Henry County email address or your personal email address, whichever applies, and you can communicate that way directly. But this is another place here where you can compose and check your own emails in the SIS. And you can see I have a message here from a student that I need to read. Alrighty. And so that's the SIS in a really short and quick setup. I just gave you the basic start and some of the important things that you'll need to use the SIS for. And so feel free to contact me, fvin@henry.k12.gs.us. And if you have any questions or concerns about the student information system. All right. I thank you for playing along.